All right, let's go because you know what I came in to do.
I don't get paid for overtime. I'm here to fight.
I think it would have been easy to dismiss what Raheem, Fulton's trainer, was saying about Inoue's hand wraps because maybe he's tried some psychological warfare with Inoue. But when Tim Bradley confidently and fearlessly blurts out that Inoue has been getting a punch power advantage with the way they're double stacking the hand wraps on ESPN, probably the biggest network for boxing in the world, then you'd be dumb not to at least ask Team Inoue the difficult questions and sift through the evidence. Because I'm assuming Tim saw a tape of the hands being wrapped.
Have to do is you have to put a little bit of gauze around, and then you're able to put some tape there, and then you can put the gauze over and some tape. What Inoue's doing is he's basically somewhat building a cast around his hand with tape, which is illegal. You can't put it on the bare skin. And after I watched that video, I was saying, my God, like, it's a lot of tape that he's putting around to protect his hand. And then he's going to put gauze, more tape, and gauze again, and more tape. That's called double stacking. You cannot do that in boxing. I don't know who let him get away with that in Nevada or wherever he fought. It's not right.
And here's the thing, like, Fulton is a Showtime PBC guy. Inoue is top rank, ESPN. And I know Tim's not taking a side, he's just speaking his truth as he sees it with the evidence before him. But at the same time, I haven't heard Top Rank distance themselves from Tim's allegations. So his words are their words, he works for them. And Inoue did reply, and he said Japan has its own local rules. Even in the US, there are local rules on each state, and the winding methods are different. Our fight will be held in Japan on the 25th, so of course I will follow the Japanese rules. Don't suck it up, just fight. Now, he's got no obligation to prove that he's clean to Tim Bradley or to Raheem. I also appreciate that the fight is very near, and they don't want to get distracted into answering all these allegations, but they haven't answered none of the allegations. They haven't said, nah, this is untrue, or tried to prove anything wrong. And maybe after the fight, they might slap ESPN, Tim Bradley, and Fulton's coach for some lawsuits. We'll see. But if they don't respond to any of the allegations, then it is a little suspect. Especially if there is a tape out there suggesting there is alleged wrongdoing with the hand wraps. That's an issue. And at the same time, in defense of Inoue, he's fought 24 times and not one of his opponent's coaches have come out and said, yeah, we saw something dodgy. How come they're all missing it, but all of a sudden, Stephen Fulton and Tim Bradley are nailing this guy to the sorry? It's a story that should have went away after Fulton's coach made certain allegations, but with Tim Bradley on the biggest network for boxing saying it, that's kind of changed the dynamic. Like, is there a tape out there? Do the sanctioning bodies who sanction these fights where Inoue's hands were allegedly wrapped illegal, do they know about it? Do the commissions where he fought, especially in America, do they know about it? And if so, why hasn't anyone been reprimanded? Why isn't no one coming out saying, yo, yeah, this and that and that and that? If there is a case to answer, should there even be a fight tomorrow? Because what they're suggesting is this guy is trying to maim and potentially kill people in the ring with dodgy hand wraps. Hopefully there's no controversy tomorrow morning. They already agreed to the glove selection. There was a little back and forth, supposedly, but that's all sorted. Allegedly, Team Inoue had opened the gloves and retaped it, and who knows what they're alleging happened in between the gloves being opened and retaped. And it's the hand wraps tomorrow. And obviously, Team Inoue want to focus on the fight rather than be focusing on the hand wraps. And that's what I'm saying. Maybe it was psychological warfare by Stefan's coach, trainer, try and ruffle the camp, because I know he's quite a cool customer, isn't he? Hopefully it'll be a good fight. I think Stefan's punch power, you know, like the differences at this level between victory and defeat are very minute. And I can see Fulton actually boxing very well against Inoue, but if he can't make Inoue respect him and get too confident, that could be an issue. That could be an issue. Inoue might have trouble landing against the quite elusive Stephen Fulton. Stefan's good at seeing when you're going to lead off, and he reacts to it. Got good reactions. and he can box on the move, but he doesn't do big wide circles, so he's going to be in range to hit Inoue as well. This is a really good fight. It's a very good matchup. Very good matchup, and credit to PBC for letting Stefan go over there. Like, I know Inoue can bang, and he can create some very great angles for punching power, but his boxing IQ, I believe, is going to be tested. Let's see if he can make Stefan bite onto his feints and actually scientifically create the angles. Because like I said, I think his power is going to carry up to a degree. I still think he'll be the harder puncher in there. And the way I have it is Stefan on points or Inoue by stoppage. Although I haven't seen Stefan vulnerable around the whiskers. I don't know why I keep saying that. Because Inoue bangs harder. Tomorrow morning, man, not far away. It's not far away.
It's a robbery.
MAXI Hughes. I'm glad to see that some of the press are actually supporting MAXI Hughes and making noise about it. Some of the British media and American media, more than what I thought. At least he's got some people fighting his case. But like I said on the Hangout, you've got no promotional ties to none of the big boys, and you travel abroad. You've got to go for a knockout, really and truly. And I know he's not a big puncher, as people pointed out in the Hangout, but he hit hard enough to hurt Kambosos to the body, and I think a few of the headshots were felt by Kambosos. So all this he can't punch. No, he can punch. Listen, I've seen lighter punchers than MAXI Hughes switch up their style. Terry Marsh did it against Joe Louis Manley in 1987. That was Frank Warren's first world champion for the IBF belt, that was. And Terry was an underdog. And Terry was a stand-up English-style boxer. So that can be done. It's good to get the, what I would call the sympathy vote, and people are angling for MAXI to get another big fight. That's good. That's good, because he needs the paydays. He's getting on a little. He's in his 30s. He needs the paydays. I took the Hangout down because somebody pointed out that MAXI has improved so much in the last 5 years. And when they said that, I decided right then, even when the stream was live, I'm going to take this down because I like triers. And I appreciate MAXI from where he's came from to become a world ranked contender with an IBO strap, whether that's a legit strap in your eyes or mine. Let me and you try and win one of them. So big him up for that. I will say this though, and I'll leave it, I'll talk about the scorecards in a little bit. He got away with that style of boxing against Kid Galahad, and they gave him the nod. It could have went either way. And he looked considerably bigger than Kid Galahad. Boxers have to learn from that. He took that same style to America, and you can argue he won the fight. You can argue it all you like. But if you're away from home and the favorite is the aggressor, and MAXI didn't throw a lot of punches, and you don't have no big people backing you, this shit can happen. Like, I'm telling you straight up, while I was watching the fight, from round 10, I already decided what was going to happen. That's why I didn't come out saying robbery, I'm outraged, or none of that. I knew it was going to happen. And by round 12, I wrote it in Twitter. This will be scored perhaps a draw, because I think MAXI's outlanded Kambosos, but he hasn't really went for it. I did watch the fight early this morning, rewatched it, and I had it very close. Swing rounds, I had it very close. Couldn't split them really. I had it very close. And I don't mind being the odd man out who can't score fights, who doesn't know nothing about boxing, as far as some of you are concerned. I don't mind being the odd man out. I'm not scared to be there. I'm just calling it as I see it. I didn't see this outstanding boxing that everybody said they saw from MAXI. He maybe exceeded his expectations. Kambosos was a favourite to win. And in exceeding his expectations, perhaps people are saying he did a little better than what he actually did. It wasn't a robbery. It wasn't a robbery. I had the fight roughly even. Could have scored it to MAXI. I had a few swing rounds where if I was an official judge, I couldn't put swing rounds in my scorecard. I'd have to either have it an even round or score it to someone. MAXI exceeded expectations. It doesn't mean that he done as well as some of you were saying. For instance, there was one round where MAXI threw a left-hand counter, and Tim Bradley and the commentary team were like, yeah, yeah. And in slow motion, they showed the same punch, and it missed. A lot of the punches didn't connect from either man, and a lot of punches weren't thrown in some rounds. Big up Joe Stunner. I watched his video. He had the fight close as well. And like I said before, okay, you got past Kid Galahad. A lot of people said Galahad won the fight. You lost a tight one to Kambosos, and you're getting the sympathy vote. But the sympathy vote will only last for so long. Next time, Because more than likely, if Maxi goes in with a big name, he's going to be an underdog again. Whether it's in Britain or across the pond. Next time, what are you going to do? Let's say you get a similar scenario. Let's say he gets a fight with Josh Taylor in Scotland. And Josh Taylor's just coming off a loss. I know that's one weight class above, but you know, let's play with it. It's only one weight class above. Now you know you just scraped past Galahad, and you had the fight Saturday gone where everybody's screaming it was a robbery.
It's a robbery.
What are you going to do when you get this fight in Scotland against Josh Taylor? And more than likely it's going to be a pro Josh Taylor crowd. Are you going to leave it to chance with the judges, or are you going to try and flip your tactics around dominating the fight? Because Maxi didn't dominate on Saturday. He didn't. I didn't see a domination there. I didn't see domination. But then again, a lot of the boxing fans who are maybe 10 years younger than me, they see boxing a lot different than I do. I've noticed that. Derek Chisora, Joseph Parker won. That was a robbery. Derek came out, floored him, right? More often than not, he beat Joseph Parker to the punch. And in the UK, Derek's stomping grounds, they fucking gave the New Zealand guy the vote. And I paid pay-per-view and I was furious. George fought with a lot of tenseness. His confidence wasn't where it needed to be. Although Devin didn't knock him out, he outclassed him in both fights. He lost his unified titles, and then within a matter of months, he lost the rematch as well. And you could see the tenseness because he knew this was make or break. I need to win this one. You could see the tenseness in George's boxing. And Maxi should have took advantage of that, in all truth. But I don't want to be too hard. Maxi's improved so much in the last 5 years. To get on the stage with Kambosos in America, credit due to him. Now there was talk in the comment section of my hangout that George just signed a 4-fight deal with Top Rank, and the implications are what? I don't even need to tell you. They're planning to either feed him to Shakur, Lomachenko. Shakur was at the MAXI Hughes Kambosos fight, and post-fight he let Kambosos know what he thought of the decision and what he would do to him if you got him in the ring.
I respect what you done. I respect what you done. I ain't taking nothing away from you, bro. I'm just saying, as far as me, I feel as though you can't f*** me. If they don't fight me,
why don't you take
why don't
you take the 24%, bro, against Devin? Come on, man.
Hey, if they don't fight me, we can make it happen. If they don't fight me, we can make it happen. And I'm going to stop you.
You stop me?
I promise you I'm going to stop you.
It looks like Devin is moving up to fight Progress at 140. I think that's a better move for Devin than fighting Shakur. Why fight Shakur? Shakur don't have no straps. Go fight for a next weight class, you know, like, why are you going to fight Shakur at 135 when all evidence points to Devin being a little drained at 135? You can get past Kambosos weight trained. You can scrape past Lomachenko, and he did scrape past. Because Lomachenko is an aging fighter. But Shakur, no, you don't want to fight Shakur and your body's feeling the stress from making weight at 135. No, move up and fight Regis, who you might be able to catch at the right time. Looking at the last opponent and how he did against Progress, Devin could become a 2-weight champion. Didn't the WBC give Devin a deadline? And didn't that deadline pass? Friday gone. What's he going to do? Fight Shakur or Regis Progress? And didn't Progress have a deadline to take on Devin or take on the booby prize, Sandor Martin? If Zorilla gave Progress issues with distance and the jab, so will Sandor. OHARA Davis signs promotional pact with Goldenboy. Sounded a bit random there. How did that happen? I guess, you know, they can push forward the purse bid if he can't negotiate a deal with Rolly. You know, OHARA is mandated to face Rolly, and without a deal, the fight is definitely destined to head to the PBC, where Rolly will have all the advantages. We saw what happened with Barroso. Get yourself hooked up. Goldenboy is a better option than no hookup at all. You saw what happened with MAXI Hughes. Everyone thought he got robbed. Who did he have backing him? Nobody. Ryan Garcia is still with Goldenboy. They're not planning to let him go. They're taking Ryan to court to fulfill his contractual obligations. So they're still going to get him fights. And what's Ryan going to do? No, I don't want to fight. You want to be inactive until your whole career's sucked dry while this lawsuit drags out? That's not where he wants to be. And if OHARA can beat Rolly, the natural fight is OHARA versus Ryan. Rumor has it that OHARA give Rolly a good pounding in sparring, and a lot of people favor OHARA to beat Rolly. Oscar said he's in the business of building world champions and he's going to do the same with OHARA. Well, he hasn't been so successful with the likes of Virgil Ortiz and Ryan. And I'm not saying that's down to him as a promoter. You know, there's been illnesses, injuries, and a few circumstances that certainly haven't worked in Virgil Ortiz's favour. Ryan, though, he did have a world title shot against Devin Haney, which he chose to blow off. And he hasn't always dedicated himself to his craft. Let's keep it real. How much fights are in this deal? And the deal seems to depend on him beating Rolly, or what else is out there for O'Hara Davis on Goldenboy. He's not a big draw in the UK. What are you going to do with him if he loses to Rolly? I'll keep my eye on the story.
Changes, everything revolves around changes. Used to be friends, now we strangers. Used to call it love, now it's hate. We so hateful. Take for granted every single thing. Used to be grateful. Gratitude turned into an attitude. Even though I did way more than I had to do, still I'm never mad at you. You was just infatuated. You was like a dime and a half, had me captivated. Told me that you need your cell phone plan activated. I just turned it on. Said you would never have to pay it. That's how it went down. Soon after that, had you pinned down. How is it I'm the one you resent now? Fuck it, changes always creep up. I was making money with my feet up, chopping white rock down, cooking in the lab like a chemist. I knew the racket well like tennis. Niggas I was friends with, mostly either dead or doing letters in the state pen. That type of hardship could either break men or make men. It made me, not saying that it saved me. All I'm telling you is that it gave me a new perspective, motivation, made me get focused. The underlying reason for this opus, I know it's changes gonna happen. Even if you scared, it don't matter, get prepared. Most of the things I feared were things that I ain't know about. And things I used to worship, I found that I could go without. If it don't apply, let it fly, nigga, throw it out. But if I struck a nerve, there's some shit that you should know about. Economies are changing, philosophies are changing. Levels of disasters and atrocities changing. The climate is changing. Soldiers out on mission, their assignment is changing. Changes, friends become strangers. Areas that used to be safe is now dangerous. Playgrounds are pitiful, they try to make jail seem hospitable. Although you still in hell, you might forget it though. Changes, different outlooks, new resolutions, new interpretation, same old constitution. HIV, still no solution to it. Change the focus from the lab where they grew it to the way it's transmitted. We call that the bait and switch. Wanna know who responsible? See who is making rich. Changes creep up, sometimes they happen sudden. Nuclear capabilities, push the button. They say that we are gluttons to the pain, resistant to the change. Probably why we caught up in the game. Niggas chasing fame instead of hunting down integrity. Saying life is short but don't understand its brevity. Change is the only constant, it's consistent. Viruses, they becoming drug resistant. Preparation, the only way to elevation. You can see the false hope they try to sell a nation. I think decapitation is the only way to kill a beast. We be like some sitting ducks, hunted like some wildebeest. I know this won't kill the streets cause the streets ain't ready for it. But the streets killing itself on a deadly course. Changes.